A tale of two Irish goalkeepers. Shay Given soldiers on in the Newcastle goal with a thigh strain. His deputy Stephen Harper is also injured. Given has been withdrawn from the Republic of Ireland squad for the World Cup qualifiers. After today, he will have 2 weeks rest. And Manchester City also have a goalkeeping dilemma. Nicky Weaver has a groin injury, so 37-year-old Tommy Wright, whose last Premiership match was for today's opponents Newcastle in Bobby Robson's first game in charge, now resumes a career which saw him win 31 caps for Northern Ireland. The former Newcastle defender Steve Howie is also injured, but City welcome back Spencer Pryor and Paolo Wanchope, who both missed the League Cup victory at Gillingham, where George Ware scored 2 goals and had a hand in the 2 others. Meanwhile, Alan Shearer is looking for his first goal of the season in open play. He has a different partner up front today, Daniel Cordone, replacing Carl Court, who will be out for up to a month with a hamstring injury. Other than that, the team is unchanged. Newcastle currently have 10 senior players on the injured list. Well, arms folded there. Dennis Stewart, the former City and England star, is now a director here, and he'll remember scoring 2 hat-tricks for City against his hometown club, Newcastle, back in the 70s. Paul Taylor is the referee. I was saying last week it was good to see Ipswich back in the big time. Well, it's also right and proper that Manchester City should be in the Premiership again. Bit of a soap opera as a football club down the years, but if ever they've got it right on and off the pitch, it may well be now. They're in sky blue, playing from the right, and Paolo Wanchope back up front with George Ware. Newcastle in their familiar stripes. That was Gary Speed to Domi. Now Spencer Pryor. That's a test early on as Ware got the header on, and it was Paul Dickoff who got forward and challenged Charvet here. City playing with Dickoff ostensibly in midfield, but he'll get up there with Ware and Wanchope to make the 3rd man, and he's forced a corner which Kevin Horlock on the far side will take, and Spencer Pryor is in the 6-yard box. Headed out by Rob Lee, who was defending the near post. Alfie Haaland has stayed forward in the middle, so has Pryor. Oh, and that wasn't a bad effort at all by the captain, Haaland, staying forward from the corner, having only passed a fitness test just before the game. He hits this well with his left foot. There are 2 Newcastle players on the ground. This is Gallagher to Speed. Oh, the forward run is by Kieran Dyer if they pick him out. Gallagher again, this is Dyer. Oh, and Gallagher gets in once more, and City weren't... Oh, it's an appeal by Shearer there for hands. Referee looked across at his assistant, neither reacted. Shearer is still talking to the assistant referee on the far side. Away by Aaron Hughes. Back in by Pryor. Dickoff with the touch. Now, there's a chance here for Horlock. He's onside, and they've got Wanchope in the middle. And that's a good clearance. Right in front of the goalkeeper. Aaron Hughes deprives Paolo Wanchope of a certain goal. Horlock beat the offside trap, got away on the left. Wanchope is coming in for the killer touch, but Hughes risks the possibility of an own goal and gets it absolutely spot on. Derek Wright, the Newcastle physiotherapist, has taken his time in treating Andy Griffin, but he's off the pitch as City prepare to take this corner. And here comes Shay Given. It's a good catch. And Bobby Robson, the senior man now among Premiership managers, still looking as distinguished as ever. Shearer trying to flick it on, Pryor staying close to him. It's come out to Rob Lee here for Newcastle. Kieran Dyer further down the right. Griffin. Speed. Domi. Gallagher. Domi again. Cordone has gone out to the left. Domi thrusting forward from left back. Shearer! Good save, Tommy Wright. Oh, the agony for Alan Shearer continues. This is a good cross, and Shearer gets contact on the header, but Tommy Wright able to react and make what for him will be a reassuring save. Oh, it's a risky ball by Tiato, and Gallagher finally swoops on it. This is Shearer. And now Dyer. Still Kieran Dyer, but he took that very, very wide. He's forced the corner. Hughes and Charvet both forward. Speed! Oh, what a good save by Tommy Wright. It might have even been better than that. Gary Speed, always dangerous in the air, put real direction as well as power into that. But this is a really terrific save. But here's Vikins for City. Corner. Really won by the persistence of Dickoff. Against Hughes here. A little bit of a push maybe, but he got the verdict. Horlock will take the corner. Alfie Haaland is forward. Oh, and off the line was it? Referee says play on. He hasn't now. Well, there were one or two appeals from City players that might have crossed. Just watch as Paolo Wanchop comes in with George Ware. It goes off Wanchop's leg. Oh, it's, yes, hooked right off the line. May have been Kevin Gallagher back there. Griffin. Dyer. Still Kieran Dyer. Inside him now is Cordoni. Gallagher's pulling away. Oh, what a brilliant effort. And again Wright thwarts them. Kieran Dyer doing the unexpected. There were two in the centre wanting a cross, but when he gets away here, the ball off his chest to start with. He's looking up. And is he trying to curl that in the far corner? I'm sure he is. And Tommy Wright responds again. And Shearer's there, Ed Speed's there again. And most of the danger is coming at the moment from corners. But that was a cheeky piece of play from Kieran Dyer. Free kick City. Well, nearly everything that's happened of note in this first half has stemmed from a free kick or a corner, so here's another opportunity. But again, he's got plenty to aim at in there, notably Ware and Wanchop. Oh, and it was Paolo Wanchop who brings a save out of Shay Given. Gallagher. Good running by Paul Dickoff. He's got George Ware in the centre as he takes on Gallagher. It's a corner. What job! Oh, how did that stay out? Well, Paolo Wanchop's been close now 3 times. Well, it hits his own player. It hits Spencer Pryor, I think. Extraordinary. Whitley. Ware. Kennedy. Wanchop's in the centre, so is Dickoff. What job! Oh. Well, Newcastle are surrounding the referee. They're protesting that Wanchop should have been penalised here. but he's waved them away and given a corner. Well, that won't go anywhere apart from onto the head of Shearer. Now, Tiato. It's Dickoff on the far side for City. It's got support from George Ware. Oh, they're screaming for it in the middle, and Ware shoots, and it comes off Shearer for a corner. And Kennedy's gone across to take that. And again, they don't get the delivery right. Here's Cordone on the break for Newcastle. A lovely turn. Kieran Dyer. Now he really can take Richie on. Oh, he's been stopped, and I wonder why. The referee has given a free kick. There was no flag. Shearer's asking him. Possible handball is all I can think of. Well, it was on his chest, that wasn't hands. Well, that's an extraordinary decision. Joe Royal standing now, and you do feel that somewhere in this match there is a goal. And Lualua, good effort and turned over by Tommy Wright, and the newcomer just showing some spontaneity there, having only been on the pitch a few minutes. It's a lovely turn and volley by Lualua, but well tipped over. And yet again a corner to Newcastle. That was a poor one, but it wasn't a poor shot. Kieran Dyer firing over. And there's going to be another Newcastle substitution. It doesn't surprise me. Kieran Dyer, I'm sure, is injured. And Noel Solano is going to come on. In fact, this is possibly bad news for England. It depends how bad Kieran Dyer's injury is. Solano will play down the right side. Vikins. Lee. Solano looks for Lualua. He certainly has got a lovely sense of movement, and he's found Solano, and Shearer's are marked, but it's a goal for Newcastle, and don't ever write him off. Alan Shearer. Well, it's his first goal in open play of the season. But the man who always answers his critics comes up again at the key moment. Solano and Lualua combined on the right. It was done well between the two substitutes, but Shearer, typically, had pulled away at the far post. Almost a replica of his goal for England against Germany. He won't be scoring one this time, unfortunately, but he scored one here for Newcastle. The only question was, would Manchester City appeal for offside? Well, just a little question mark. No, I think he was level when the cross came in. England's number one is the chant from the Newcastle supporters. He's not England's any longer, of course, Alan Shearer, but he'll settle for a goal today. Here he is again, and he's put Rob Lee through on the far side. And Lualua offside, surely. Yes. Well, even that was a questionable decision. Again, Lualua to Solano. Shearer's outside him. Kevin Gallagher's making ground in the centre. That is Gallagher, and it nearly ran for him a second time. City really struggling at the moment to get any thread in their game. This is Paulo Wanchop to Bishop. Dickoff with the touch back. And here's a good run by Mark Kennedy, and he's gone round the goalkeeper, Kennedy. Oh, my word. Well, certainly there. There was nothing the defenders could do except run back towards the goal line and try and cover it. Whether they would have done, we'll never know, because Mark Kennedy has missed City's best chance of the afternoon. He was clean through, and Shay Given really committed himself. He was right out 20 yards and more. And he looked back in relief. Well, Bobby Robson checks his watch. He'll know now that we're in the last 10 minutes of the 90. One shot, helping it on to Dickoff. Vikins! Oh, what a fantastic block by Caldwell. This is Tiato. Deflection. Corner. Well, that drive from Vikins might have been on its way, but Steve Caldwell on his debut got in the way. It's a corner to City. Bishop. Kennedy. Vikins tries to find Kennedy again. One shot far side. Gallagher clears for Newcastle, who could break away again. Free kick, though, to City. Fouled by Lualua. Bishop takes the free kick quickly to Crooks, gets it back. One shot with his arm up in the centre. Oh, and almost through here, Lualua, and Pryor just edged him out there. And here's Solano, wriggling his way through. Oh, very, very close to a second goal from Alberto Solano. City's defence again here, leaving a gap. Tiato. Oh, and on the break, what about this? Solano, if he plays it right here, he's going himself. And Newcastle are clean through here with Mo Solano. And he's hit the post. He didn't realise that Lualua was to his left. He went alone, and you couldn't really blame him for that, because he was clean through Solano. And this really should have been 2-0 and all over. Look where the other Newcastle player was, waiting for a square ball. But it doesn't matter really, because they've taken the 3 points. And deservedly so. Bobby Robson's team looked the more convincing, certainly in midfield. And it's the day when Alan Shearer, as if he has to do it time after time, replies to one or two people who've been saying he's not been at his best, not been scoring goals. He was there when it matters. The story of his career, really, to steer Newcastle to a victory which Bobby Robson will feel was hard-earned. Manchester City not as good in their build-up as Newcastle. A lot of incident, a lot of enjoyment really for the spectator. It's Manchester City 0, Newcastle United 1.
What happened there? Because Alan Shearer, you don't leave him with that kind of space just there, do you?
Yeah, you must have been listening to me in the dressing room, because I can't understand it either. Oh, there was no pressure on the ball to stop the cross, so the fella picked someone out, and there's Alan Shearer on his own, with probably his only real chance of the game. I mean, we handled Shearer fine throughout the 90 minutes, but he will say one chance, one goal, and home we go with the points.
We worked very hard, and it wasn't easy. They played maybe a longer game of football than we did. You know, it was a bit frenetic, but it was effective, and it was difficult to defend against. We were perhaps a little bit more cultured. And we made some, I don't know, 5 maybe decent chances. And I thought Tommy Wright was probably, for me, the man of the match.
It was ironic, really, because the manager in our team talk this morning has said, well, he has the utmost respect for Tommy Wright, but as a 37 or 38-year-old, surely he can't be flying around the goal as if he's a 25-year-old. But he's rammed those words down his throat, and we said to him at half-time, for God's sake, what did you say that for? Because he's been outstanding today, and as I said, but for him, it really should have been 3 or 4.
I often wonder what it's like for a keeper who's on the bench for so many games and then suddenly you're called into action. You have to train as hard as Nicky Weaver here, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, at my age I probably have to train that a little bit harder as well. I mean, it's difficult, but I know the situation here. You know, Nicky's obviously, you know, a top-class keeper. He's going to, you know, hopefully play for England one day. I just hope that, you know, when the opportunity comes, that I go in and do well and give the manager something to think about, and that's all I can do.
Kieran Dyer went off with an injury. What's his situation?
I think he took a knock on his knee. I don't think it's too serious. I still think he'll be going down to report with England. So fingers crossed anyway.